Drop dubs, hit routes, so yeah, we on the move. From the paint to the pocket, got nothing to prove. Precision in the pass, rhythm in the run. Every play, every day, till the work is done. Yeah. Step on the field, I'm reading the D. Eyes wide open, ain't fooling me. Pump fake, sidestep. I'm breaking the press from baseline to sideline. I'm bringing my best. Snap back, quick glance. I'm calling the play. Hoop dreams and touchdowns. I'm making my way. No look behind the back. Fred in the scene. Every angle, every shout. I'm chasing a dream. Drop times, hit routes in the deep, no doubt. From the field to the hardwood, hear the crowd shout. Pass it, dish it through traffic. We find.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Appreciate you all for tuning in. Another edition of Passion and Precision. Back with the new format. Key's back for another week. So you guys got to get used to this. This is how we doing it. We got a lot we're going to talk about tonight. But before we get into that, Key, how are you doing? How's everything?
I am good. It is Friday. I survived the work week. But I'm ready to go in on some folks here. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And then, Jory, how are you doing?
It's been a week. Very interesting. A lot's been going on. I'm excited to talk some sports. Some people I'm already tired of. And two, we might get some J-Dub tonight.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, look, that's what people are here for. Like, we're going to give you honest opinion on a wider range of topics. We've got a little NBA we're sprinkling in tonight. Obviously going to do a lot of NFL because that's what we normally do. But let's go ahead and start with the NBA story because we are still a little bit away from, training camps opening. NBA has been real quiet for a little bit, but there is one story that's kind of been lingering with the Golden State Warriors. They've kind of been linked to a couple of players like Al Horford and all this stuff. But Jonathan Kuminga has been the biggest story with the Warriors because we still don't know what they're going to do with him. We learned Kuminga wanted out. The Warriors didn't.
Bye, honey.
The Warriors didn't.
My bad.
The Warriors didn't necessarily do him any favors, and now they're kind of in a standstill. But there was a little bit of news that happened this week. So, Key, I'll let you kind of catch us up on what's going on with Kuminga, and we'll talk about it.
Oh boy, Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors have been trying to ship him, but it seems like nobody wants to take him, or either the offer's not right, or maybe he's not a good fit anywhere. Kuminga was like, oh well, he don't feel like he gets developed on the team. He doesn't get used right on the team. But long and behold, he was the one that leaked the video between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Why? Because he wanted one of them to leave so he can get implemented into the roster and the rotation and have some shine. Oh boy, did that backfire, sir. So you mean to tell that's some grimy stuff you really think about it. You really leaked the tape. You really leaked that tape.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get your own play out of it. Really? And here we are sitting here yelling and was like, oh, Draymond, why you did it? We all went in on Draymond for this. And here you go leaking this tape. Bruh. Yeah, I don't know if this will blackball you now for trying to get out of the Warriors. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but that's definitely not a good look.
No, and maybe it explains why he hasn't gotten really the boost that he was hoping for. Because Steve Kerr and all them may have learned about this. And look, Kuminga might be lucky Draymond hasn't hauled off and knocked him out.
Right.
Like that's kind of a surprise here. But look, I mean, I guess if you're Kaminga and you were a young guy kind of sitting behind a bunch of people, you thought of a way to possibly help yourself out. Obviously, you would think, I don't know, outworking these guys in practice might have been your method, but you wanted to take it the TMZ route. Leak a video, get a little heat on somebody, and Poole left. But yeah, Kaminga's standing hasn't really helped, hasn't really been elevated. Yeah, if I'm another team, especially learning about this stuff, I would be very careful if I traded for a guy who's willing to do that to their own team. Like you'd have to have like a very veteran group, probably team that has a culture in place that, if Kaminga goes in there, he wouldn't really have the leeway to do something like this, or their practices don't go a certain way. Like I don't know what Kaminga's grand plan was, but how can any other team other than the Warriors be like, let's bring this guy in because the Warriors are wrong for not playing him?
He had bad intentions, and that's why it backfired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the craziest thing that came out of it, that he was the one who leaked the video.
I heard that it was just in awe.
Right, Puda. Right. That is such a weak, grimy, slimy, green, flaw thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
D'Angelo Russell doing what he did as far as locker room goes, or Kaminga? Because you pretty much did the exact same thing. So we know you got paid to leak that video. Congratulations, Captain Dummy. You sold your team out for a position in a couple of $100,000. Like, now you don't put yourself in a position, and you did it because you didn't think it was going to come out that you did it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have did it. Maybe your brain is just that smooth.
Mm-hmm.
What's done in the dark always comes to light.
Yep.
I'm gonna get you next.
But my thing is like, you taped it or whatever, you realize that was out there. By leaking it out, you had to know in this day and age that if somebody really wants to find out who released the footage, they're gonna find out. So you doing that on your own accord was already taking a risk to begin with. Because you had to know if somebody found out, one, the players in the locker room are going to look at you one way, but you also have to think, yeah, I get it, you want to get out of there, but these other teams talk. Front offices will talk to Golden State and be like, all right, so what's this kid like? They'll be like, hey, don't have any drama in your locker room because he may leak it to somebody.
Yeah, snitch.
And like the other team's gonna be like,
snitches.
Unless our whole team's like, choir boys or whatever, we don't want a guy like this who's just waiting for something to happen and be like, how can I make this to my advantage that I can move up in the rotation? So Kaminga, look, you might have to get ready for that big three call, man. I don't know what you got going for you.
Maybe
and what player is gonna want to play with that? Now that we know that you did it, I'm like, you can't come in my locker room because there's a chance that what goes on in the locker room is not gonna stay in the locker room dealing with you. That's knew damn well they weren't getting rid of Draymond. He knew that. He knew that. He wanted Poole out of there. And see, when you move out of jealousy, this is what you get. He's gonna learn the hard way because nobody's gonna want to play with you. No team is gonna want to trade for you because of this. You just nuked your own career by being jealous. Congratulations. You want Donkey of the Year award? Because that's the only thing you don't want at this point.
I was gonna say maybe the scrub teams will pick him up. I don't even know if they want him.
Like the crazy thing is, I think throughout all of this, I think a lot of people were on Kuminga's side. They felt like the team was doing him dirty. They thought Kerr was, clearly losing it because he wasn't playing this guy with so much potential. Now you kind of understand why. Like Kerr probably really is done with him. It's just that finding somebody to take him off their hands has been so tough that they'll let him put on the jersey. Doesn't mean Kerr has to play him. So
he's going to turn into another. He's going to turn into another Ben Simmons. Career done.
Like that is crazy. But hey, people when they get desperate, sometimes they do the dumbest thing possible. All right. Well, that was a good way to kick off the show. Obviously, I guess if Kuminga gets moved or something, we'll revisit it. I think I saw somewhere where the agent's like, oh, he's willing to sign his qualifying offer now or something like that. Yeah, I wonder why.
Because ain't nobody giving me no offers.
Teams and they're like, we're not interested. It's like, hey, that qualifying offer? I think you might as well sign it. It's either that or just sit on your butt. Like you decide.
He did it to himself.
Absolutely. He absolutely did.
But let's go ahead. He got lying
in
it now.
What's up, Mo?
Hey, Mo.
Exactly. Expendable. Yeah, he was too inconsistent for me, but like this obviously makes him look a lot worse.
How do you had everybody on your side because everybody saw the potential. And then you just gonna blow it up just like that?
Yeah. I guess we'll see. Maybe he tries some apology.
And we still don't remember. We still don't forget it.
Nope.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. The reason why not every athlete is a Mensa member. Like some of them, they just be acting on pure emotion, which usually gets them in deeper trouble. And that's what's happened with Kuminga. But let's cross over NFL. We are in week 3. Like every week I say what week it is. I'm like, oh, we're getting closer to the end.
That's why I'm like, then it just started. Like week 3 already.
But with week 3 comes some observations about what's going on over the past couple of weeks. Look, you say never overreact to week 1. Now you have week 2. It might still be a bit of an overreaction, but I feel like we're learning some trends or seeing some things out there that you might want to keep in the back of your mind going forward in the season. So
Hi, Anthony. Leave my quarterback alone, Anthony.
Yeah, what's up, Anthony? So let's look at some early season observations. Just open it up. Who wants to start with one? I mean, Jorg, actually, let's start with you, Jorg. I know you have a lot of them.
I do.
Yeah, we'll start with you.
I like how the Falcons' pass rush is starting to come along. Granted, it was against a rookie quarterback.
Pay some attention to the pass rush. You might actually find somebody.
I still think the Falcons are relatively undisciplined at times. I don't trust them. Week 1 showed me everything I needed to know.
It's fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, they had the Bucs beat, and they had the roughing the passer or something. They had some late penalty that extended a drive. Yeah, that's kind of been Falcons football for a few years now, though.
Staying in the division.
Okay.
The Panthers stink.
I wanted to believe in them too.
And it's not Bryce Young. It's not Bryce Young. We saw you what Bryce Young can do. Granted, Arizona almost failed, gave them every opportunity to win that game, and they just failed to capitalize on it. But I knew there was a reason why I didn't like Canales. I don't think he's it as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Evil Einstein down in Miami, granted, they played a little bit better.
They did.
And his sassy Samoan quarterback who talked too much.
Yes.
Not the sassy Samoan.
I mean, you bring up something, about Carolina. Like, it could be a Canales problem. And I think at this point, a lot of people are going to be looking around at teams with coordinators or, college guys that you can go after. It kind of dawned on me. If you move on from Canales, a guy who could possibly work there, Kingsbury. Kingsbury's worked with Kyler Murray, kind of an undersized quarterback. You now give Bryce Young, who's a bit undersized, maybe not as athletic as Kyler, but Bryce Young has some athleticism in him. Like, I'm not going to sell him short on that. Kingsbury's a guy who's proven offensively he can put a game plan together. Now, as a coach, he's kind of failed at that already, but we know in this league, you're an offensive mind, they'll give you another shot. And Carolina's desperate to get something right over there.
Well, he had a brat of a quarterback named Kyler.
True. Very true. But he is working with Jaden Daniels now. And, look what the Commanders have done. So I feel like Kingsbury, Carolina could be something to look forward to.
You know
But
what?
the thing
Taylor can have Brian Callahan back.
Oh boy. But that's the thing with the Panthers is I know they're a young team, and I know they have they got a nice team around them. I mean, maybe the offensive line stinks. I mean, I know they lost I think 2 key linemen on offense.
Mm-hmm.
So Bryce Young gonna be running for his life again. But you did surround him by players. You did get you got Xavier Legette. He's still up and coming. You get Ted McMillan in the 8th round.
Mm-hmm.
Got Jimmy Horn Jr. who could play in the side and can play special teams for you. You got Chuba Hubbard. He's one of he's a good running back. He's underrated too. And they work on their defense a little bit. The Panthers will be in there. They just need someone to guide them. That's it.
Yeah.
And their owner is trash. So they need a GM that's going to put some players around Bryce, somebody that wants to come in Carolina, somebody that's right for them, and don't blow him off the first year. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Carolina is a work in progress. It's not Rome. It ain't built in a day. You can't do it in one year. So you got to give the coach time to develop that team and get them right. Don't be like, oh, one and done, that's it. No, where's the chance? Where is he? How are they going to learn? How is Bryce Young going to learn if you keep giving him a coach every stinking year? That means he got to get a new offensive coordinator. That means he got to learn another new system. Can he just find that guy that's going to get the team where it needs to be, and so he can be consistent every year? Someone that's going to develop his flaws and know his weaknesses and game plan around that. That's what Shane Steichen did with that's what Reich did with Carson Wentz when they went to the Super Bowl. That's what Shane Steichen did with Jalen Hurts when he was here. That's what good coaches do. Okay, you're not the best mobile quarterback. You know what? We're going to keep you in the pocket. We're going to find something that works with you. Nick Foles is a great example. He can't run to save his life. What did they do? RPO. He was great with the RPO. So you got to find a coach that's going to develop, that's going to work with them, that knows their strengths and weaknesses. Same thing with offensive coordinator. You got to play around what you have. You got to cater to their needs, cater to what they know.
Mm-hmm. So I think for Anthony here, do the Panthers suck or are they too young? I think it's a little both. I think they're too young, but I also think the people in place to supposedly get them where they need to go may not be the right group. That's Canales, and well, Tepper, the owner, isn't great, but he's not going to fire himself. So I think some serious questions about Canales and whether or not he needs to be the one to work with Bryce Young. And then the problem is if you move him out and bring in a new coach, the coach has to like Bryce Young enough to be like, yeah, that's the guy I want to use, and not be like, well, I'd rather have so-and-so from the draft, or maybe there's this free agent from a previous team I worked with that I'd rather have come in, which then you'd feel bad for Bryce Young because Carolina's done him no favors. So there's a little bit of both. I do think the Panthers aren't good, but they are still a young team. And Anthony also had, do the Bears suck or the Bears suck? Is it Caleb Williams or the Bears GM?
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
Caleb is still holding the ball for too long.
He is. That is definitely a problem. Yeah.
We can also say it's Ryan Poles too, because Ryan Poles went in this draft and this offseason wanting the wants and not the needs. He didn't address his corner situation in the secondary, and some other things he didn't address. He said he just went for the wants, like, okay, but he did address the offensive line, but then you got Caleb who's still holding on to things, and everybody want to blame Ben Johnson. It's only week 3. If you really want to evaluate your team, wait at least the halfway mark, week 6, week 7. Then we can know, okay, where is this going? Is we turning in the right direction? Can we possibly make a wild card, get in the playoffs? What needs to be fixed? What can be adjusted? Week 3 still not enough to say, you know what? That's it. They don't, we know it's still not enough. Give at least till week 6, week 7. We'll determine where teams are by then, because it's the halfway mark. So these teams now that's starting off 2-0, who's to say they're going to fall off by the time week 6, week 7 come? The teams that haven't won a game yet, who's to say they're going to be in first place? We don't know. So you can't. You still weeks 1 through 3 in the third week. We'll start to see how teams are going to be now, third week. But to really say, okay, got to at least wait till week 7.
Yeah. And I think some of that is those stats that come out every time a team's like 0-2 and 0-3, and they go, oh, this slim percentage teams have made the postseason after starting like that. I think that's what gets a lot of teams to react a certain way. And look, Bill Belichick said this. You want your team to start playing good football by like Halloween. Because at that point, you're getting into November, December football. Like that's when you start looking at postseason seeding and everything like that. And that's when you really should have it all together. Now, the way preseason's handled and everything like that, the first 3-4 weeks, their teams are still working things out.
Right.
So I guess we'll see. What's up, Syjan? Is Baker MVP worthy? Syjan bringing up my guy Baker.
The second that you think he starts chanting MVP, he's going to have a bad game, and we all know how that goes.
I'm not going to say MVP worthy yet, but Baker, the last 2 games, has been playing good, especially coming back from situations. So, I mean, I'm not going to say MVP worthy yet, but I like what I'm seeing from Baker so far. He found a home in Tampa Bay. Let's say that.
Absolutely.
He found his place in Tampa Bay when the Browns didn't want him. Then he moved on to Carolina. That didn't work. And so he had a stint with the Rams for a little bit. And you can tell that Baker's a baller because he didn't know a lick of nothing when he played with the Rams. And what happened? He came back and won a game anyway. He only been there for like a week or 2 or so and didn't really know that playbook, but he came back and did what he had to do. Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days, yeah.
He didn't know. He didn't know nothing. He probably didn't know nobody's name. I think he did say that. He said he was in the huddle and he didn't know nobody's name, but he was just, McVay was in his ear. So that's what I'm saying. Baker's a playmaker. Baker's a baller. So I'm not surprised what he's doing, but he's found a home in Tampa Bay, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think what you said there is why I'm such a Baker fan is no matter what team Baker's on, he's going to get guys to play for him. Like, he's the ultimate uplifting teammates kind of guy. I just call him a gamer because he can play 3 quarters of bad football and then look like all world in the 4th quarter and lead a team back. Like, he's never going to quit. He'll throw 4 interceptions if he has to, but he is going to be out there and try to win you games. So, yeah, I wouldn't put him in the MVP conversation yet, but mid-season, who knows? He might.
Who can have a quarterback like Baker? Cleveland.
We have a Browns fan on the network. It has been posed to him before, and I feel like his answer has always been, I can't have revisionist history, and I think he's still okay with the move. I agree. If you're looking at 2025, would you rather have Baker or Watson? It's like Baker by a mile.
How you gonna force a man to play on a shoulder injury, and then when he stank it up because his shoulder's injured, you gonna use that against him? This is what they get. They're getting what they deserve.
Mm-hmm. I also think with that fan base in Cleveland, like they can be relentless, and they had kind of gotten to the point where anytime something bad happened, it was Baker's fault. So I think for both he and the team, like they needed to kind of part ways. The old tush push debate that will never go away.
Yeah, well, not. I'm over the tush push. I'm over it.
Tush push center might be moving earlier for a false start.
Yeah, the refs are going to be more in it now, paying attention. So, just saying, just tell my team, look, to shut everybody up for a couple of weeks or so. Don't run it. Because they always say they already complaining. Oh, the Eagles don't know how to win games without the tush push. Just don't do it. Just to prove it. Shut everybody up. That's it. That's all.
Works for me.
Speaking of the Eagles,
okay,
Kevin Patullo has one more week
to
not use his damn receivers.
Mm-hmm.
How you think I feel? I'm gonna give him a benefit of the doubt. The Rams game should be where they go off. This game coming up on Sunday is when we see AJ
As
Smith.
Somebody who
Everybody get
owns
involved.
Devontae Smith. And not just it with 5 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. If you get them early, dumb. Sorry, I know that's your OC. You'll have them late.
I'm about to call them out too.
Like, come on now.
I ain't gonna tell you what he said.
Huh?
I ain't gonna tell you what he said. He said, "Oh well, we'll get to the explosive plays. We have them there, but we just can't get them off." Or he used something like that. That are you kidding?
So he's basically saying the plays are in the playbook. He just hasn't felt the need to call them yet.
I'ma slap it. Wait a minute. So why aren't we calling them then, genius? McFraud? Come on now. Why aren't we calling the explosive plays? If they're drawn up, you use them in practice. There's opportunities in the game where you can use these explosive plays, and you don't.
That's what I'm saying. When have we ever seen Jalen Hurts come in and has this plays on his wrist? I feel like if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm like, I'm not calling this mess. Let's go and do what we do. Like, he hit the dagger 2.0. in that game against the Chiefs, Dagger 2.0, and it was Tom Brady and the other dude, the exact same commentary who did it in the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh my God, it's the Super Bowl all over again. It was the Dagger 2.0, and and Smitty almost got in the end zone. Stop him at the 1. Where's the plays like that? Because Tom Brady said AJ Brown is running the same routes. He got one more week. He got one more. He got until Sunday. When Monday comes, yeah.
Is if y'all don't want AJ Brown, give him back.
No, we're not giving him back. He's not going anywhere.
Because I can use him.
I feel like if anything were to happen, the OC would be replaced before they start moving out, wide receivers. Sergeant ass, Bills Dolphins game. I mean, we said it earlier. Dolphins looked better, but
then Tua.
Yeah, Tua in late game situations this year just has not been good.
It was right there, bro. You saw him break on that. Why would you throw that?
Mind-boggling to me.
There's been a few picks that when you see like the behind the quarterback view and you see what he's throwing into, you're just like, are you not seeing what we're all seeing?
Probably not.
He had a couple of picks in the Colts game which were astonishing.
I think he done had too many concussions. Real talk. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I think because he didn't play like this before he started getting hit like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you paid attention, he wasn't like this. He would make good decisions. A lot of people question his arm strength.
Yes, I mean, Patriots game, he aired it out as far as he could for Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill still had to wait for the ball to come down. It was about a 45-yard pass, which today's standards, that's a noodle arm.
Right. He said he got to come back to it. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. But it's also like we saw in the Bills game, he would be in shotgun looking for the snap, and as soon as he read blitz, like he's already looking to vacate.
He got scared. He was like
throwing a fake blitz just to get to him, and he's fumbling the snap and stuff like that. Like, yeah, he's clearly, he might in the back of his mind just be worried that if he were to take another one of those hits and he is concussed, that's probably it.
It's over.
Like, he might be trying to play safe, which is never a good thing either.
Just wear the Guardian helmet. Just put the Guardian helmet on. Like they even told him to. He was like, no.
Yeah, because I think to him it's like by him putting on the cap would be him acknowledging the concussions are an issue. And I don't think he wants to. But through his play, he's kind of acknowledging it by the way he's getting jumpy when he sees guys rushing the line of scrimmage pre-snap.
And the thing is, I could tell that something wrong with his head because he's talking too much now. I'm like, first of all, you ain't never said this much at Alabama. I know, I was there. Like, what? I ain't never did none of this.
Kern was just talking about Tua's play versus the Bills.
And now you're out here just saying anything.
Yeah.
You over here trying to hold your receivers accountable, and you're not playing squeaky clean yourself, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Mister, I make decisions like I just smoked a blunt.
I think another thing that's been troubling with him is I haven't necessarily liked his body language on the sideline. Like, he'll throw a pick and he'll just go over there nonchalantly sit on the bench and be like, It's like, I don't know. Something about just his whole outlook, I just don't.
He's been changing. He don't let Salty Tua take over, and I don't like this one.
He talking a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
He got a little bit too much dip on his chip.
Right. Yeah.
And you're 0-3
Oh,
Mhm.
doing all of that.
0-3. You have fans.
You are 2
Boom.
games away from getting your coach fired. I'm gonna need you to this
Yeah.
whole macho bravado. I'm gonna walk around with my chest puffed out and can't nobody tell me nothing. This thing, this
then McDaniels look
it's
lost.
gotta stop.
He looked like he lost his best friend.
Huh?
McDaniels looked like he lost his best friend.
He looks sick.
Which I mean,
McDaniels.
they scored the touchdown the first drive. You know, McDaniels was feeling himself, but then, like the Dolphins do, they become inconsistent, and then the offense kind of stalls.
And then he starts calling crap.
Yeah, like that game literally turned into Tua just dumping it off into the flat all night. Took a couple of shots downfield, but yeah, against that Bills team, like you need to be a little bit more, I guess, explosive. Like you have Jalen Waddle, you have Tyreek Hill. You gotta find a way to make it work with those two.
McDaniel in that quote. That was a hard we have to win the game. Da.
That made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I said, I know damn well you didn't think that. Repeat it in your head. Okay, let me just spew this out because this is some mumbo jumbo word salad that sounds like something. And it made sense to nothing. It amounted to nothing. So what was the question? You didn't even answer the question. Nobody would have known what the question was based off of that word salad of nothingness.
I feel like he's trying to do the Popovich Belichick thing where you don't give away a lot. The problem is those two won a lot, so you could tolerate it. McDaniel hasn't done anything. If you did not try this act, it's like have you just given up and you're just looking for ways to get fired at this point? Like I don't know.
It's already coming. If McDaniels is not going by this season, something ain't right. So whether it be week 5, next week, middle of the week, end of the year, he's leaving. There's no ands or buts. He's getting booted.
Yep.
Dolphins lucky they're not going international this year, or are they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, hold on. I'll probably
if they do go to London or one of them games, just leave him there. Just leave him there. Just leave him in London. He don't even got it. We'll just go home. Just go home. Don't even go back to the locker room. Don't even go back to the locker room. Clean out your office. We will send your stuff. We will mail it to you. Just go home.
Right. Let me see. All right. So yeah, I will look up the Dolphins schedule here in a second. Because Syjan's talking about a lot of the quarterbacks that are out. I will say, so Syjan, we do have our picks coming up in a little bit. So sit tight for that. I guess any more observations want to throw out there?
Let's see. Adoree Jackson stinks.
Doo-doo butter.
Let's see. I don't know what the hell the Cardinals supposed to be. They're very Jekyll and Hyde. They fail again. I feel like I've been speaking about this for the same 3 years. Why can't they play a complete game?
Jonathan Gannon.
And I knew that's the answer. I knew that was the answer year 1. I wanted to give a man a chance.
I could have told y'all he was gonna be trash because he didn't care. He didn't care about our game when he was Super Bowl.
Let's see.
He knew he was getting a head coaching gig. Oh, forget y'all. At least Kellen Moore was focused.
Yeah.
The Bengals are cooked.
Mm-hmm.
They're fried chicken.
Barbecue chicken.
I actually think there's a multiverse out there where Jake Browning does enough because he at least has experience in the offense. I think it's tough to look at the game last week when he came in for an injured Burrow. Like that's always tough on a backup quarterback. Now that he knows he's the starter and he has a week of practice, I don't think the Bengals season is necessarily over right now.
It's not him that I'm worried about.
And that's fair. That's definitely
It's
fair.
the offensive line.
Right.
It's the defense.
Mhm.
Saying, can that line hold up for him?
If Joe Burrow only lasted 2 games, 2
Mhm.
weeks behind that offensive line, 2 weeks, he didn't even get a chance to pass gas yet. Like what?
I think they might have changed the way they go about it. With Browning, do some short passes, do some slants, stuff like that. With Burrow, a lot of it was looking for big plays downfield. And behind that line, that's kind of dangerous to go about. Also, Kerm, I believe I had the Bucks as my survivor pick this week as well. So we'll see how that goes. But
The Bills could go 9-0. They could go.
It's
they
possible.
very well could.
Their
Yes.
schedule is sweet.
Yes. Like they could be, a number 1 seed come playoff time. And then having to go up to Buffalo in the playoffs. That's going to be tough for some teams.
Yeah, that's brutal coldness too.
Yeah. And that fan base is crazy.
Can we have a conversation about Sam Darnold? That's not a franchise quarterback.
I feel like Minnesota should have kept him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about JJ. I feel like JJ can be good. But yeah, based off the year Darnold had, I kind of was surprised that Minnesota was eager to move off of him.
I'm gonna give the horseshoe team some attention.
Okay. Go ahead.
Don't think this Daniel Jones is gonna be all season, because it's not. I'm letting you know. I'm letting the Colts fans know right now. It's not gonna last all season. Hell, Sunday he might forget how to play football.
I'm waiting for that bad game so everybody can crucify him. I'm waiting.
I also hope, because if he has a bad game, it doesn't turn to throw Anthony Richardson out there. We don't need that either.
I'm waiting. Colts, I'm waiting. He's gonna have a bad game, and they all put AR in.
You
sure about
up
that?
On Miami, who just forgot that they just forgot what their professional careers were for a second, and thought this was a runway.
Also, update: the Dolphins do have an overseas game. They play in Madrid, Spain this year.
Oh, leave their asses in Spain.
Leave their ass in Spain.
It's week 11 versus the Commanders. They play in Spain.
Hell no.
They're gonna get blown out.
Leave McDaniels in Spain.
He speaks Spanish. He looked like it.
Get him some paella and do some dancing. Have some fun.
But
Sergeant agrees that
back to the horseshoe team. Minneapolis team in Miami and a Broncos team that shouldn't have won week 1 that gave the game to them.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see next week.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a tough one against your team this week. I guess, Kerm, I'll say. I've used Baltimore and Buffalo already. Yeah, Denver almost won and then, fumbled it with getting the penalty on a 60-yard field goal that was ultimately missed. Moved him a little closer, he knocks it through. And I get it. You're trying to block the kick, especially from 60 yards out. You figure it's going to come out a little bit lower. You might have a shot at it, but you just got to be smarter there.
Denver should have won the game.
Yeah,
The
I
Texans.
guess that evens out because, like you said, they shouldn't have won week 1, and they should have won week 2, so it evened out.
Yeah, that's what they get. I don't like Sean Payton. If y'all watched week 1, every time we did something, that old smug bastard decided to challenge everything. Everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, let me get down the field. Irv.
I don't think he
I
was.
don't think Fields
I
was
don't
the
think he was
wrong
the
pick.
wrong pick for the Jets. It's just
To Houston. They have a rookie head coach. You got to give them some grace.
Yeah.
The Texans, however, Houston, we have a problem. Your red zone defense stinks.
Kerm's not gonna like that. He has Stroud as his fantasy quarterback.
Well, Stroud is playing like a cloud now, so there's that.
Hmm.
Hampered with the offensive line, and they still don't know how to consistently block and do what an offensive line is supposed to do. Your receivers are injury prone. Let's just lay that out. They're injury prone. And you can't generate a lick of offense. Bella can do more than that.
There are people who still think, the Texans will be fine. If they are going to be, they kind of need to start turning some things around now. Like they definitely have the talent and everything to make it happen, especially defensively. But yeah, what we're seeing so far is a lot of those adjustments that they made in the offseason on the offensive line, they're still figuring out. The running game without Joe Mixon hasn't really been there. And because of that, CJ Stroud is being affected by all of that. So they got to figure something out. Either, Nick Chubb needs to become more of a factor offensively to help take some pressure off of CJ Stroud, or maybe they just have to go, look, we're just going to spread offense all day, going to put the ball in CJ's hand and let him just do whatever. We have to figure it out. Kirk might be back this weekend for Houston. Okay. Could help. Well,
Now, their
yeah.
defense. I did want to say this. There's a reason why Aziz Al-Shir has been passed around. Discipline. But he's undisciplined, and sometimes he can't play the middle of the field.
Yeah, there's definitely like a risk reward with him. Yeah, he's a big hitter, but okay. How many times a year does that lead to a big penalty? How many times a year is him going for the hit stick? He doesn't really wrap up and the guy gains extra yards on him. Like it's catch-22 with him. And Syjan, yes, Cousins is still in the mix because Atlanta's not going to use him. So anybody's open to make that call. I don't know what's going on the Kirk Cousins front. If I'm Atlanta,
what if JJ's injury is more than it is? Can you imagine Kirk going back to Minnesota?
I'm not sure Vikings fans would love it because at least he's a legit quarterback. Like they got Carson Wentz, who, look, maybe Carson Wentz balls out on Sunday. Also, when's the last time you've seen Carson Wentz ball out? So that's kind of wishful thinking to think it could happen.
The Rams played the Titans, whose defense decided to just not give a damn in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They did not care. And if you watch that game, you could tell when the defense decided not to care. This is why I want Zach Taylor to take his assistant back. Take him back now. Like, and I'm trying to give it patience, and I'm trying to give it time. Right, Puda, right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying not to be one of those. I'm trying to give the man a chance to properly work with Cam. But the man and his play calling is really questionable. And then when you got people like Cedric Gray, who decides that on a would-be kickoff touchdown to do some stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We could have won that game too.
Yeah. And I feel like for young coaches dealing with, rookie, second-year quarterbacks, I think at times they feel like being conservative helps the young player along. I also would say it's kind of a case-by-case thing. Cam Ward seems like he's mature enough to handle the NFL right now, and he's not the type that if he threw a pick or something, he'd lose confidence. He doesn't seem like that type of guy. I think if you have a quarterback like that, open the playbook out.
That's
Let
what
him
I'm
make
saying.
mistakes, but he'll make plays for. Look, he had that touchdown on the scramble. I mean, he was scrambling around like crazy, but he still made the play. Like, he has that ability.
After week one, we get why you were conservative week one. But after week one, everybody was saying, open up the playbook.
Yep.
Like, instead, you over here talking about you don't know that an elbow counts as getting the elbow down counts.
Right.
I knew that. Mike Vrabel literally challenged the play. I remember this because a dude got a half of a butt cheek in, and he got the call overturned, and it was a touchdown.
Yeah. I guess anybody want to tackle this one? Most likely MVP candidate right now.
It's too early.
Okay.
Too early.
Too early. I will say, the Purple Feather Brains.
Yes.
You played the Browns. That kicking you handed to them twisted. You played the Browns, who has a half of an offense.
Right.
And they gave y'all bulletin board material. You still are who I think that you are. An overrated, very talented, poorly coached squad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He comes back, mind you, it's September, October, November, December. Depending on what Cincy do, it might as well just keep him out for the rest of the year.
I feel like he's out for the year. Did you guys see Kelsey explain what a turf toe is?
Mm-hmm.
Jason is hilarious. He was
He took
hilarious.
his whole shoe off, put the foot in the camera. Travis was like,
He
"Oh,
was
you're
like,
about to do this, aren't
he
you?"
was like, yeah. He was like, it's a ligament or a tendon in your toe, and he was like, it's grade 3. That cleared off.
He's like, that's what helps you flex your foot down, and if you can't, you get a lot of pain.
And
And so he said it has
as bad as it sounds,
sounding name, turf toe, but it's actually a lot painful.
Yeah.
A lot more painful than the
Mark can
name.
go to hell.
mean, I'd probably say Allen over Lamar, but
Yeah.
we know how that went
Um,
last year.
if his toe is as bad as it could be, that don't just ruin his. That couldn't just mess up his season.
Yeah, because you need
That's
your
a
foot.
mess up his career.
You plant off of that. Like you
Yeah.
stick your foot in it, especially if you're an athlete, you're gonna plant your foot on any movement. So
Yep.
that ligament being torn off and you can't move your big toe at all, yeah, that
Yeah. I kind of
And
agree with you, Jordan. Like, just let him sit the year. Wherever Browning takes you, Browning takes you. And hopefully, offseason, you go, hey, that offensive line that keeps getting our quarterback killed, let's actually fix it this time. Herbert is an interesting one, I will say, Saijan. But do we have more observations, or do we want to move on to?
I do like how Drake May has played.
Well,
I had to give your team some love.
That's the Vrabel effect. That's my coach, not that other guy who's being petty down in North Carolina.
mhm.
I miss him.
Saw that
Please
man running the
come back.
sideline. I was like, that's my guy.
I was like a baby running.
Surprised he didn't like knock over somebody, but
Am I missing? Did I talk about the Chiefs and their sorry ass secondary?
no, you did not.
Yeah, the Chiefs secondary is very vulnerable to getting carved up.
Dagger
Mhm.
2.0.
Panic level on the Chiefs.
4.
Okay.
Now, if they struggle, they're gonna win the game.
At least they should.
I know they're gonna win because they should.
They-
Now, if
yeah.
they lose, it's gonna go from a 4 to a 400.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you I know the Giants had 500 yards of offense last week, and I know they didn't win, but they also played the Dallas Cowboys defense, which is about 3 weeks removed from trading away their best player, and they look like Swiss cheese. They couldn't stop a parked car at a red light. Not through the air.
Right.
So I look, and I think the Chiefs defense, even though I think their secondary also stinks, I'm like, they played a little bit better week 2, but I cannot get the image of Justin Herbert running down the sidelines, just carving up finding open receivers, blown coverages everywhere, people not in the right spots. I'm like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's a concern. I'm also concerned about the offense as a total. Kelsey's getting to the point where I can tell he's thinking about the sunset because he's playing lazy.
Mm-hmm. He did this last year.
He got a wedding to plan for.
See?
True.
Mahomes is playing Superman, and I'm like, it's week 2.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, keep doing it so somebody can lay your little clock it. Keep doing that. Because I can't stand when he do all that dancing around, make a beeline to the sideline, and then do the sideline shenanigan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if y'all don't stop this man from getting to the sideline, just clock him.
Yeah.
One time. Clock him.
Yep.
I am worried about the Chiefs, though. I think they can turn it around. But considering they already are down one in the division and the Chargers are up 3.
Yeah, it's definitely
The Giants is the litmus test.
right because it's definitely like uncharted territory for the Chiefs. They haven't been in this kind of situation for a few years. I mean, Key, like, what's your worry factor on the Chiefs right now?
I can say offensively, I feel like they're not going to use Pacheco. Pacheco, by Pro Football Focus, he is 47th out of 47 running backs. So you're not going to run him with Pacheco. So the Chiefs have never been known for running backs, except when they had Priest Holmes and those guys. They was dominant with them. But Pacheco, you got Kareem Hunt. I mean, I feel like that's a good 1-2 tandem. They just don't like running the ball. And Kelsey, you can see he's Katy Perry. If y'all know who Katy Perry is, y'all know that one song, Hot and Cold. So sometimes he got Katy Perry syndrome. So, and then who else you turn to? Hollywood Brown. He's usually injury prone at times. Who else? You got other younger guys that don't know how to catch. You got the other tight ends. So I mean, I feel like it's offensively. I feel like they can't get a groove going. Defense, I'm not the back end maybe, but that front can still get to a quarterback because Bag still is the DC. So it's their back end that has some issues, but that front is going to get to the quarterback of the opposing team. Is offensively they got some struggles.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with both of you there. It's one thing to kind of look at it as early season, whatever. But the Chargers game, like Jory pointed to, definitely was alarming to start the season, knowing that they lost the Super Bowl the way that they did. Herbert was doing whatever he wanted. And then you get the Eagles game, which you felt like they were going to be up for that one because it was a Super Bowl rematch. And, they played well, but they still didn't get it done. And now it's, you have the Giants, but after that, I think they have the Ravens. So that's going to be their next test. If they lose to the Ravens, it's like, okay, you lost to the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Eagles. Can you not beat good teams anymore?
Here's the thing. I know everybody's like, oh, they're going to beat the Giants, but the Giants does have a respectable front. If they can get pressure on Patrick Mahomes and Russ plays plays turnover-free football, the Giants got a chance.
And Jawan Taylor gonna gift him about 50 yards. So there's that.
And Malik Neighbors is a crafty receiver. I feel like that might give who back there, McDuffie might give him some issues.
Yeah, look, any given Sunday, any team can win, and if the Chiefs try to look past the Giants, because like I said, I believe it's the Ravens after that, the Giants have enough to shock them and steal a game from them. And then, like Jory said, you lose to the Giants, it's like full alert on what's going on in Kansas City. All right. So I feel like, all right, since we did observations, we were going to talk hot seat watch. I guess we'll do that before the team reports. Yes, it's only week 3, but there are some guys who you should start thinking about how secure they are. Look, we talked about Mike McDaniel. Everybody else is talking about Mike McDaniel. He's clearly one of those guys that should be looking over his shoulder. Look out for that one day you use your key card to get in the facility and it don't work. Yeah, you got fired. Who are some other guys that are on that level looking around the league? Because there are some teams that have struggled. And go ahead, George.
We know from the preseason, because you got an owner that just is delusional and be on something. If they don't get to the playoffs, they're both gone. So they will
Mhm.
Good luck with that unrealistic expectation because playoffs and you don't have an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Him, I do think. Granted, Cincinnati is 2-0, but it depends on how they look this year, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zach Taylor, yeah, they missed the playoffs again. Let's see what happens with him.
Zach Taylor only got a job because of Joe Burrow. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, him and Brian Callahan can go right off into the sunsets together. Take his assistant and go row a boat.
But could
Goodbye.
Zach Taylor
Because
get
I'm
the
tired.
could Taylor get the Burrow excuse though?
No. He's had plenty of Burrow excuses. Joe Burrow's been hurt.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not just the defensive coordinator's job.
True.
It is also your responsibility to have the whole team ready to play.
Yeah.
And I understand Mike Brown is your GM and your owner, or whoever the hell else is running things in Cincinnati, and they don't know what the hell they're doing either.
Also 100% true.
Or his ACL in his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was a wrist injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then it was something else. And now we're looking at a toe.
Yep. Third most hits in the league since he was drafted.
That's wild.
Certain point, though, those hits take a toll on you.
And that's why 2021 makes me mad so much. We had 9 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
9 sacks.
Yeah.
And still
Then you
lost.
had Ryan Tannehill throw it to the other team 3 times, and that's why we lost.
I couldn't believe that game. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I cried.
Yeah. I mean, Key, you have any coaches that should be looking over their shoulder?
Stefanski.
Yeah.
If I could say the 49ers, if they don't, do something, could you? I'm not saying Shanahan is on the hot seat, like, oh my God, he's on his way out, but his seat is getting hot. It has to, because there's no way. There's no way. Harbaugh, if they don't at least reach the AFC or the Super Bowl, he's going. You have to, because there's no way. There's no way y'all get there and then y'all can't finish it. So I feel like Harbaugh seat is hot. Tomlin's seat. I told y'all they Supreme Court justices in Pittsburgh. They either got to die or they got to retire. So, but his seat should be hot, like Tomlin. But they're not going to pull that trigger. Pittsburgh not going to pull that trigger. Mentioned Dable. The way the Colts are playing, that depending on how their season is, that might save Steichen's job. That's really all I got for as far as coaches on the hot seat.
Callahan, you better win more than 3 damn games.
Right. I guess one I'll throw out there. Gannon in Arizona. If the Cardinals have another year where they start off well and progressively get worse and they miss the playoffs or they're not playing meaningful football in December, then you kind of have to ask yourself, at what point do you just kind of cut ties with Gannon, maybe cut ties with Kyler Murray too, just kind of wipe the slate clean out in Arizona. So, Damien, can really put blame on the Bengals organization for Burrow's injuries. He's been injury prone since college. You absolutely can, because the Bengals haven't cared about defense and they haven't cared about O-line.
I don't think Burrow was really that injury prone in college. It was just when he got into the pros is when everything started going downhill, because at the end of the day, he's going to be Andrew Luck 2.0. He is going to mentally check himself out because he's always getting hurt. And you can tell right now. Look at Andrew Luck. Look how his career shaped out. He came back on comeback player of the year. Colts went to the playoffs. I thought maybe they could have went to the Super Bowl that year. And then he's mentally, his head's not in it. Now look at him in Stanford. He's having a blast. He got the spark back in football. He's not coming back to NFL. But Burrow may go down that route if he can't stay on the field. He's gonna ask for a way out if this keeps coming up to where he's saying I'm constantly getting injured.
But he also
the Luck story should be his power move in the offseason, true, did lead to some of this. And I think the college thing, because I believe he was at Ohio State. I think, like Kerm said, I believe it was the wrist injury that led to who was it who took over? It wasn't Fields, but somebody took the job at Ohio State, and Burrow never got it back. So then Burrow went to LSU and had the year that he had at LSU. So injuries have been kind of part of his story, but that still doesn't excuse what the Bengals have done organization-wise since Burrow's gotten there. Luck needs to be a cautionary tale. Somebody in that front office needs to wake up and go, we don't want the same thing to happen. Let's fix it now. Saleh is back in San Francisco. All right, let's go get these team reports out here. So do this. All right, Keith, start with you. Bird's eye view.
All right, so Big Fangio came out and said it that Jalen Carter's not in shape. No, he
is that going to be a consistent problem?
No, it's not going to be a consistent problem. Carter even admitted, that he looked kind of sluggish in that first game. Well, the KC game, because he didn't play Dallas game. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. He was fine last year. Jordan Davis is the one that lost the week. So, but no, I don't think that's going to be an issue. But it's for Big Fangio. Oh, thank you, Miami, for not appreciating Big Fangio. I appreciate y'all for that. Thank you. He was going to come to us the 1 year, but I forgot. We already had the defensive coordinator in place, or something happened. We could have been had Big, but anyway. But no, Vic says he's not in shape, and he's going to be all right. Dallas Goedert and Will Shipley's back in practice, so somebody's about to be on the move. Then good for Dallas Goedert to come back. It's always one game or so when he don't play. It may be time for the Eagles to move on to Goddard because he can't stay on the field. It's always a season. It never fails. He's missing games, whether it's a couple games, where it's he's out for a couple months and then he comes back. But no, Goddard might be on the move. We might be on the look for a tight end. So we was trying to ship him actually, but no, we ain't had no suitors, so we just extended him. But Goddard may be not here next year. That's what I got for updates. Tush Push, we already talked about that. Not going over that again. The refs are going to be looking at it now heavily. So I'm assuming that the Eagles know, hold themselves accountable. Don't go off sides. Don't false start. Or how about y'all just don't run it? Told y'all, shut everybody up for a week or so. Don't use it. Or use it, if you're going to use it in how you did it last year. Goal line situations, or you need a yard. Point blank period. Don't, but anyway, we already know it's going to be some craziness. So we play the Rams this week. So my keys to the game, run the ball efficiently. Saquon Barkley, y'all seen what he did in the regular season last year and in the playoffs against the Rams. He had that 155-yard game in the snow in the regular season. Get Saquon running, please, Kevin Petrillo. Please. And I'm not talking about running up the middle. You know, he's a bounce outside the type of runner. So I need to see those. And please get the receivers involved this week because they're going to be key. Because I feel like we can get that on the Rams. Don't give up the big play. Our secondary is a suspect, or not not the whole secondary, just one guy. Just Adoree Jackson. Don't give up the big play, whether it's to Devontae Adams or it's Puka Nacua. And we already know Puka could burn this with some yards. Don't give up the big play, and you still can pressure the Rams' interior line. That's where they're weakest at, and you can get to Stafford. So run the ball with Saquon. Don't give up the big plays. Yet again, that's going to be my whole thing throughout the season. Don't give up the big play because of that. I'm not good with Adoree back there.
Mhm.
Don't give up the big play. Pressure the line.
Yeah, Adoree Jackson's barbecue chicken.
Yep.
If you saw what Puka did to my defense, and that's a way better secondary. And what I really think what I have is better than Adoree and Roger McCreary and Amani Hooker and company. Adoree Jackson ain't gonna stand a chance.
He got one more week too, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what he can do against a talented group with the Rams. Sajin asks, how do we really feel about Kyler Murray? I think he's a talented player that just mentally.
They're eventually
gets
going
in
to
the
move
way.
on from him, I think. It's time.
Stick around and you'll find out for Final Burn.
Oh,
There
boy.
you go. Tease.
Dummy.
Jury, you got Music City Blitz.
All right, so look. I know we lost in the fashion that we lost. Look. I'm so sick and tired of losing. It hurts my soul. Y'all team done won a game. Key, your team done won 2. Kyle, your team won 1. My squad hasn't won jack squat. Won nothing.
You gotta
Because
look at
they're
it.
undisciplined.
This is the week. This is the week for them.
Because they're undisciplined. Callahan don't know what the hell he's doing. The thing is that the team is talented. They're very talented. The offensive, I hear a lot of people say, I don't see much improvement. I do. And I've been watching this team for years. And if you really paid attention to this, would you rather have the Titans offensive line of 2 years ago or the Titans offensive line of now? Ask yourselves that. That's when we had Andre Dillard messing up my drives.
I know
Yeah.
about Dillard.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
I think I think Brian Callahan needs to he don't need a car seat. You don't have to baby him. The man fights defensive tackles. He's fine. Open up the playbook. Elick, he gonna be a dog. He a dog. And I'm not really too concerned about the Colts secondary. He can get open. Ridley, stop dropping passes. Yeah. Stop dropping passes. Catch with your hands, not the ground. I'm tired. Can't be throwing pretty balls. And and it's right there. You don't use your fingertips to catch. Use your hands. Not your foot, not the ground, not the elbow. Your hands. Or your chest. Fool. Like, bruh. I'm so sick and tired of these drop passes, man.
He probably would have had mad touchdowns if they ain't dropped nothing.
Thank you. We would have won at least one of these damn games.
Yeah.
And the penalties. The penalties. Y'all, a lot of people did not know how bad week 1 was for me to watch. I'm like, we had more penalties than we had on yards on offense because of little stupid crap. 131 yards of offense and 135 yards in penalties. How terrible is that? And then you follow it up week 2 with that stinker
Mm-hmm.
and more undisciplined crap. Clean it up. Clean it up. I don't know what they do in practice all week.
Clearly nothing.
Exactly. And you know, the thing, the fact is, none of this happening with Mike Vrabel? None of this. But because Miss Amy got her damn panties in her ass and got mad because he went up to New England and said what he said. What he said, I guess.
So Trajan.
She got in her feelings and fired the man.
And now he's my coach.
At least Vrabel holding people accountable.
Thank you. Get that off.
Okay.
But I like I'm holding on for I'm there. I'm really there. Like with Callahan.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do? I understood last year. Thank you, Kerm. I know that. Last year, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because there was times he was on camera looking at Will Levis like, what the F are you doing? Now I'm looking at the screen yelling at him, what the F are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Three receivers blocking one defensive back. Why? Like,
It's
21
it's
guys.
still
We're not
it's
going to
still
forget
week
that.
3.
We're not
Still
going to
week
act
3.
like my squad has just been terrible since they moved to Tennessee. We're not going to have revisionist history. They've had good years.
Oh, they did. They did.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kern feels your pain.
Just, it's a long season. It is a really long season. And I'm trying to be patient. But it's week 2, and I feel like we're going to go nowhere quickly.
Yeah. I mean, look, Cam probably just needs to get that first win, get that, feeling and anxiety off his back, and he'll be much better. And Callahan as well. Like, they get that win, maybe that pushes him to give Cam more on his plate.
And also, watch for Kamira DK.
Okay. There you go. Right,
We
so
would have had a stop. And then here we go with Jeffrey and these roughing the passer penalties. Now, they call anything roughing the passer.
True.
That I am definitely going to start a petition. We need to have a review of these roughing the passer penalties because these quarterbacks are paid actors. They flop. They don't be getting hit half the time, and they get 15 free freaking yards.
I feel like that's coming. Like, we'll get to the point where they just review everything.
You know, I'm going to just rant and rave about it every day until we get it.
I'm sure you're not the only one who's waiting
I'm
for that
tired.
day.
I'm like, and these quarterbacks.
Yeah, she just wants to win. She just wants. It's like we all know our teams. We all know they got
Yeah.
the capability of doing it, and you just get upset because you like, bro, like y'all could win this game.
And
I
when
was
these
like that last
teams,
year with the Patriots. It was like last year was a rough watch for me. So I definitely get it.
and it's like, I'm very close. I'm like, I'm not watching this for another year. Y'all better win a game next week.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Because I don't know what they're doing. Can we get a sense of direction? That's all I ask. Give me a sense of direction instead of to the bottom of the pits of hell. Give me a sense of direction.
That's very simple. You just want to see some progress. And so I guess, look, all y'all hearing the pain right now, you got to see if next week it's a happier tone. Because we all know that if the Titans beat the Colts, obviously Jordan will be.
It's a division game. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Cam might not know what to do with himself celebrating. All right, let me go ahead. Put up. You know, this thing came in like out of order. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead. Foxborough Files. Squish the fish. So happy. Couldn't have done it against a better team. Can't stand the Dolphins. Can't stand McDaniel. Can't stand Tyreek Hill. Can't stand that garbage stadium. It was all beautiful. Patriots get their first win in Miami since 2019. Tom Brady, last time they got a win down there. It's always been tough. I'm sure you all remember the Dolphins winning that game. I think it was like 3 years ago, late in the year, with the laterals all over the place, and they caught Gronk on an island. They ran past him for a touchdown to win it. So you understand why I can't stand Miami. But special teams and defense helped out. Pass defense is still struggling, but Milton Williams got the sack, fourth down to end the game. Harold Landry, I believe, is tied for the league lead in sacks. And the Patriots as a whole, I believe, lead the league in sacks as a team, which is a big difference from last year and previous years where they weren't necessarily great at getting out the quarterback. So Vrabel's got his imprint there. Now that I'm saying this, probably should have went before Jory, because this might be because I'm naming people that used to be in her building now.
You're just gonna rub it in, huh?
I'm not. Look, I just thought about that as you were going through your whole thing. Like, I'm about to go after her, and Vrabel's literally the coach, and Harold Landry had a big part of winning it late. But anyway, I'll move on to Christian Gonzalez is on his way back. He was back at practice. He didn't necessarily participate in a full day of practice, so he probably won't play against the Steelers, which, it may not come back to burn him in that game, but at least the fact that he's kind of back in the fold has me excited to see what he could do to help the pass defense, because like Carlton Davis has been fine. It's just been the other corner on the other side, been some struggles. Gonzalez would obviously help that. Going against the Steelers, defense once again will need to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. We know he's not the quickest back there. So if Williams, Landry, it's mainly those two, but they have a couple other guys up front who, Michael, it was a keyboard. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. You get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. That helps the secondary. They can't really run the ball that well, even though the Pats' run defense is actually really good this year. Also something that's different from the last few years. Last year, you could run up and down on the Pats' defense. This year, you can't. So Milton Williams gets a lot of credit for that as well. And then Drake May in the offense. They look better each week. Last week, Drake May had a great command of the offense. He only threw it 23 times, 19 completions, but he used his legs effectively. He got the ball to 9 different receivers, so he's not locking in on certain guys, like he's spreading the wealth. Love to see that and want to see more of that against the Steelers. And we'll see, where it takes them. But definitely better days in New England, especially after the Raiders game, the way that they lost that. There were some Pats fans that were worried.
Why is Keon White mad?
Huh?
Why is Keon White mad?
So Keon White is mad because Keon White didn't like Gerard Mayo. He thought with Vrabel coming in, it would give him a better opportunity. Problem is, Vrabel has no ties to Keon White, and Vrabel really loved, was it K'Lavon Chaisson, who the Raiders gave up on, and Chaisson has passed up Keon White on the depth chart. So Keon White's a little bit upset about that. But the problem is, Chaisson plays the edge the way Vrabel wants, like Landry. Speed guys off the edge. Keon White's more of a bully, power rusher. So he will be useful sometimes, but he's just not going to start because that's not what Vrabel wants out there with his starting 11 defense. That's why Keon White's upset.
He'll live.
Exactly. Like,
his pride is just hurt.
Yeah. I mean, maybe for him, he needs to kick inside to D-tackle, but then you have Barmore and Williams there, so he's not going to start over either of those guys either. So, yeah, that's why Keon White's mad. Hey, they're winning. Keon White need to keep it close. But, yeah, Steelers give about 32 points a game. They just scored 33 last week on a Dolphins team that we all know they have their own issues, but I think Porter Jr. may be out. I believe he's dealing with some injuries, so could be another big game for Drake May.
Long as he don't target Ramsey, just because he's old and slow and a little bit slower, don't mean he won't lay somebody out.
True. That is, yes.
You still do not target him. Even though, unless you have Derrick Henry, then you can just run right at him and watch him get ran over.
Right. And look, Stevenson's a guy who can run you over, not at Derrick Henry level. And Stevenson did show more of a pulse last week against the Dolphins, which was obviously good. And Gibson did have the big return, which we talked about with Vrabel running alongside of him. So the running backs gave you contributions. I mean, Stevenson had 88 yards as receiving, which is not usually his thing, but he's kind of adapting his game to fit the new Patriot system. Exactly, Sajin. So yeah, those are the Foxborough Files. So now let's get into picks. So this is what I think Sajin was talking about this earlier. So here we go. Let me pull up. All right. So did this, keeping track. I feel like last year we were doing picks. I wasn't good at keeping track. I'm keeping track this year. So last week, Jory went 4-2. Good week. You were 8-3 on the year. You got Packers over the Commanders, Vikings over the Falcons. We all missed out on because thank you, J.J. McCarthy, in that offense for no showing. But hey, it happens. Bucks over the Texans, Chargers over the Raiders. The Rams beat your Titans, and the 49ers over the Saints. You had right. So like I said, 4-2 last week. You're 8-3 overall.
So I should have been 5-1.
Yes. Yeah. But look, you're still 8-3. Still doing well. Keith, this is your first week making picks on the show. You went 5-1. The only one you missed was the Vikings over the Falcons. You got your Eagles over the Chiefs and then the Lions over the Bears. I went 5-1 last week. I'm 7-4 on the season. Vikings over the Falcons was the one I missed as well. So that all sets us up to go into. Let's start with whose picks do I have here first? Jory. Here are Jory's week 3 picks. Jory, I'll let you explain any ones that you want to.
The Bills Dolphins happened yesterday. I just knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't believe, I knew Tua was going to turn the ball over at least once. He did it in the fourth quarter. I knew Mike McDaniel was going to call some wonky donkey Willow Wonka stuff. I didn't think, I had a feeling it wasn't going to be no blowout because it's a division game, but yeah. Of course, Curl. I'm not picking a purple feather brain to win nothing. I hate them. I have the Chiefs over the Giants. Now, like I said earlier, if the Giants find a way to beat the Chiefs, somebody's in trouble. Lions over Ravens. I think that secondary of the Ravens is going to get burnt.
Okay.
And I don't think the Ravens have as much speed defensively as the Lions do offensively. Titans over Colts. That's a division game. And that's my last straw. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Packers over Browns. They should win that game. Joe Flacco's not going to have any time to throw. The Packers, they have a pass rush. They can't stop the run, and their corners are getting started. So, look, I don't think the Browns do much of anything this week either.
Okay. All right. Don't look. We'll see how Jory does with her picks. All right. So let you guys know if you are new to the segment. Pick the 3 primetime games, and then our teams game, and then a wild card pick. So just to kind of give you context on how we do it. All right. Now let me pull up. All right, Key. Here are Key's picks for the week.
All right. I feel like mine this one wasn't as nicer than y'all's were. All right. So of course had the Miami versus the Bills. Pick the Bills. Prime time Sunday game. We got the Chiefs and the Giants. Got the Chiefs. But again, don't sleep on the Giants and you still at any given Sunday. I'll pick the Ravens over the Lions Monday night. Then I got the Eagles and the Rams, of course. And the wild card game for me is Dallas versus the Bears. Straight first mandatory, nothing to really get into. I mean, I think the Lions and Ravens game could be pretty good. Both teams are competitive. Just gotta see who won it more. Hopefully, Derrick Henry doesn't turn the ball over anymore. So we'll definitely see. But I think the Ravens could pull that off. And yeah, Dallas could win that game, definitely, because Bears got some injuries on that team. So Dallas should be able to win this game.
The Bears' defense is soft as baby butter, so
not baby butter.
I was going to see if Damien was going to jump in on that one. Well, Damien might
he
be
knows
off
it's true, and
he might be off on his Bears anyway. So. Okay.
You're relying on an old Kevin Byard to cover receivers and tight ends, and he can't do that anymore.
I forgot Kevin Byard was there. Yeah. Kevin Byard's always a guy that pops up randomly on Sundays, and I'm like, oh, that's where he is.
His son plays in Colorado.
He left his ability to play in Nashville. Because
We
as
had him
soon
in
as he
Philly,
got
we
to
didn't use
Philly,
him
he
right.
stunk.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we had him in Philly. He wasn't used right. What we trading for? What we trade to get him for if you're not going to use him right?
Yeah. All right, I'll go with mine. I mean, have a lot of the same stuff. Bills over the Dolphins because, I'm not buying anything the Dolphins are doing. I kind of thought the Bills were going to cover, though. The Dolphins did cover. It was a 12.5-point spread. So I guess they get a brownie point for that. The Dolphins didn't get blown out. So Damien hasn't had any hope since they traded Fields. I have the Chiefs over the Giants. I agree with you all. It's a game that could be scary for the Chiefs, but I feel like they'll just get it done. This one hurt me, but I'm taking the Ravens over the Lions because they are playing in Baltimore, and that's what front-running teams do. They win in Baltimore. They win at home.
I don't trust
Now,
Patrick
can they
Mahomes.
not forget Derrick Henry's back there? Like, just hand him the ball. Let him do his thing.
And don't use
Wait, did
the
you say something, Jory?
excuse. I don't
Go
trust
ahead.
cat pants. And don't use the excuse. Lamar has a cramp when you have a linebacker that plays running back.
Yeah, exactly.
Lamar has a cramp. And he said it himself. I was drinking pickle juice. Don't you sit there and say that. Some things you leave to the knowledge of you and whoever was going through that. You know how much crap I go through with a cramp.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say at the end of the day, we females, you cramps. We still do 99 chores a day.
A cramp, man. Please, hand it off to the running back. If he cramping so bad,
Right. Like, just don't overcomplicate it. Baltimore, just stay within yourself. I have the Patriots over the Steelers. I think the defense will be able to cause some problems for Rodgers, and I think the offense is definitely playing confident after that Miami game. I think it could be a close one, but I have the Patriots winning it. Then my wild card is I'm taking Baker and the Bucks over the Jets, especially Fields being injured. But I just think the Bucks are the better team. So those are my picks for the week. All right. So we have all of that out of the way, which means we have one thing left. And Jory kind of set the stage for this early. She's been waiting for this. We have Final Burn.
Oh my.
Yeah. Like Jory gave y'all the whole horror vibe from the font, the background, all that.
cause like, first of all, the Chiefs. To you four cornballs who wore them stupid shirts. It's not like the man got arrested for a little gram of weed or for a speeding ticket or for something minute, some stupid law that we all break. The man was traveling at 120 miles an hour, got into a wreck that nearly killed multiple people. How classless, tactless, decorumless, it lacks couth, they look stupid, they look remorseless. Like, where was the thought? Did you think about anybody else when you did that stupid crap? Speaking of optics, we just gonna flow right into the next idiot. Because then you got Mr. Midget of a quarterback in Kyler Murray. Why would you post? No, and it wasn't the fact that he even posted it. The apology was some BS too. You not finna sit here and play like you didn't know what you were doing because you lose that excuse when you post the back of the picture showing whose jersey you got on, you numbnuts.
Yes. So I guess those of you who don't know, yes, Kyler Murray had a picture with his pit bull rocking a Virginia Tech Michael Vick jersey, which connect the dots, you understand where the controversy is and all that.
Focus playing football, not like it's on a Nintendo DS. Make better decisions.
Facts.
Y'all stink. What if nothing? The Dream just decided they was just gonna sell out, look good all year, and then you get in the first round of the playoffs and go home. The Falcons ain't never gonna amount to nothing. The Hawks, do I need to say anything else? Two completely different things. Don't let these people tell you something. Don't let these people tell you something. Tell you that. They don't live here. It's two completely different areas. I live here.
Mm-hmm.
You live here, Kyle, and you could say Athens and Atlanta are two completely different areas.
They are, yes. I will say, like, I had a lot of hopes for the Dream. Like, I'm a big fan of Alicia Gray, big fan of Ryan Howard. You guys know, as a Sun fan, I hated seeing Brown Jones go, so I like that addition. They drafted Pow Pow, love that.
Pow Pow's the only bright spot. I mean, I just feel like BG getting old, so BG not doing BG
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Ryan, it's gonna be Ryan Howard, Pow Pow. Y'all gotta get somebody else around them two.
Go get Angel.
And change that dang on court. Why? That court is confusing.
It's ugly, ain't it?
Yeah.
That court is horrible. Whose idea was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's
And
the NBA playing court.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And give these ladies their own stadium, or at least let them play at State Farm. They should not be playing where Georgia Tech played.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these WNBA teams, like, I feel like that's kind of the next evolution of the league is put them in the NBA arena or give them their own, which we know none of these cities will, but it's like, I get it early on, the attendance wasn't there, so you stuffed these teams at some college arena, but now you're trying to be a legit pro league. You can't be doing that.
And
State Farm's not being used now anyway. Put them in there.
Right.
back to the city. Why do all of your teams just somehow, some way flame out? What is it? Is it Arthur Blank?
Mr. Home Depot.
I know the Hawks ownership pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Them some grace. Y'all getting on my nerves. I'm not a Georgia. I'm not a fan of any Georgia team per se, but I do root for them because I live here. Oh my, y'all make it. Y'all make me sick because y'all give people hope, and then your ownership or somebody does something and makes it all crumble. It's consistent. Figure out how to be a dysfunctional city, a functional city that has functional sports franchises. Stop giving people reasons to say Atlanta's not a sports city. Atlanta could be whatever city it could be. It wants to be. But because of some of the people involved with some of these organizations, they will never be a sports city. And if we're gonna talk about, well, next I'm gonna get on the referees. And if you know what I'm talking about, Sajin, I live here. Look, I've seen this for 24 years. 24.
I mean, look, I'll say as somebody who moved down here from Boston, a city that you already know how they are with sports. The thing that kills me with Atlanta,
Fair weather
because
fans.
as you were saying that, I was about to say, if you want to know the Atlanta experience, look at the Atlanta soccer team. People in Atlanta didn't want the MLS in Atlanta. They hated soccer. They thought soccer was whatever. Then they get the Atlanta team and they win the MLS Cup very early in their existence. And you would have thought Atlanta was like soccer hub in the US. Everybody and their mama had Atlanta gear on. They were talking soccer all of a sudden. Past 3-4 years, it is hard pressed to find any of their fans walking the streets anymore because they've been down. And that's my thing with the city. The only teams they really ride for, the Bulldogs, and that's because the Bulldogs are relevant every year.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves, to an extent, because there are some Atlanta people that don't mess with the Braves, unless like the Braves are in the postseason. And then maybe the Falcons a little bit, but the Falcons as well. If the season goes in the tank, Atlanta fans turn over to Bulldogs football with the quickness. And that is my issue with Atlanta fans.
Back to the Zebras.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all complaining about the tush push, but y'all be missing roughing the passer penalties and stupid PIs and stuff all the time. You can't call those either. So don't sit here and just playing, we can't do our jobs and blah, 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 because of one play. Y'all barely do your jobs effectively anyway. So what are we complaining and crying for? You get a free check. And I already got on Cedric Gray, but don't do no stupid crap like that again. Taking away a kick return or something touchdown. He had a touchdown, Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a punt return.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that made me. I just turned the game. I turned my TV off and took a nap after that. I know where this finna go. I'm finna take a nap.
Yeah. Okay. Oh look, that's Jory's final burn. I will say I didn't have anyone. Mine is kind of with the Atlanta Dream and everything, so I'm good on final burn. Key, do you have one?
Yes, I do. And this goes out to Mike Brown. We're not talking about Mike Brown from the Knicks. We're talking about the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Sir, look at here, sir. Look what you about to do to your franchise QB. Because why? You don't want to get this man no protection. You don't want to get him nothing to keep him upright, to keep throwing to Jamar Chase and the T. Higgins and everybody else that's there. You decided you wanted to pay Chase. I get that. Chase is your franchise wide receiver. You're going to pay him top dollar. You didn't have to pay T. Higgins, in my opinion. You didn't have to give T. Higgins that contract. You could have let him play on the franchise tag. He didn't have to sign it. Should have just let him go. Let him go. Should have just let it go. Let it go like Frozen. Let it go. You could have let him go. You know why you could have let him go? Because you could have got some offensive linemen. You could have got some offensive linemen. No, you wanted to keep T. Higgins. You didn't want to trade Trey, but then you brought him back and gave him more money. Guess what? He's going next year. So now you just paid him more when you could have used that extra 15 or how much you gave him to give Joe Burrow protection. How is he going to have time to throw to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins if he has no protection? He's going to be running for his life. Now look what happened. It's another injury. ACL his rookie year. He had a wrist. Now it's his toe. His big toe at that. Grade 3 turf toe. That means the ligament is gone. That's a 3-month recovery. He might as well just sit out.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. I know it was like toe injuries and ligaments and Achilles. They're really hard to come back from because that involves you planting your foot. Especially if you're running and you're trying to juke. Yes, your plant foot. You need your plant foot. And he can't move his big toe right now. So he's about to be Andrew Luck 2.0. He's going to check out. He's either going to check out and say, I don't want to do this no more, or he's going to ask to be out. And it's clearly, let Joe Burrow hit the market. Cincinnati is going to have a banging amount of calls for Joe Burrow because somebody is going to get him. They got a line.
Yeah.
So that's my final burn. Mike Brown, stop being cheap. He already being cheap because you let Boomer buy his own hotel room when you invited him for the Cincinnati Hall of Circle of Fame. What type of mess? And then Chad beating around the bush when Unc was trying to ask him, did you have to pay? Well, we got the block discount. No, you had to pay out your pocket, Chad. Come on, stop beating around the bush. You know how cheap the Mike Brown is. You played for the organization. But Cincinnati needs to do better.
Ocho always be beating around the block. That's why he get on my beep nerve. Quit being so player friendly. Use your common sense, you bald idiot. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Love Ocho, but he act like an airhead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, that's kind of all we have for you. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it. I will say, looking over at the scores, got the Mercury are up on the Liberty by 8. About 4.5 to go in the fourth. Probably check out the end of that game. Then even talking about that.
I said coming down the stretch, if the way Phoenix is playing, they might turn some heads.
Mm-hmm. They definitely have the recipe to get it done. They will have a tough opponent if they do win this and move on next round, but hey, win's a win.
Against Minnesota.
And that's going to be an interesting series, especially now with all the tension on MVP voting and everything like that, even though it's a regular season award. But I think they released their finalists. It's A'ja Wilson, Kelsey Mitchell, Alyssa Thomas, and Alicia Gray, I believe.
It's going to come down to A'ja or Fee. It has to.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to A'ja Wilson because Fee was out for those 2 weeks with that ankle, and A'ja Wilson just went off. So I wouldn't be mad. But they usually give it to the top team that got the top seed, so they might give it to Fee.
Speaking of that, since when do we do co-defensive player of the year?
That's a first. I think because the voting was I guess tied or something like that. They had to do a co.
Yeah.
They better rock paper scissors shoot that thing.
Not the rock paper scissors.
I remember the NBA. It was late 90s, I believe, when they had the co-rookies of the year. I think it was the kid year, maybe. It rarely happens, but it can happen. Like you don't
I didn't even know Alana Smith was in the running.
Yeah, but there you go. You got co-defensive player of the year. Well, I agree with you, Jory. It's like somebody could have been swayed to change the vote one way or the other. Like give it to one of them. That's the whole point of the award. But shout out to the two of them. They better not do that with the MVP and try to do the whole split thing. Like don't try that. I mean, pretty sure if they did that, they expect to see that as a final burn. That would be that's wild. But yeah, and I guess the other thing, Molly leaving ESPN the end of the year. Hopefully she can go off.
No, Kyle, there's no end of the year. She's gone.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was.
She's end of the year. She's out.
And I was like, they got Stephen A up here trying to host, and I was like, they better find somebody else.
She was going to be end of the year, but then something changed, and she was like, "No, I'm leaving now."
Okay, well then
they leaked it.
I hope Molly, goes off and does what she want to do. She was there for 10 years. That's 10 years of checking Stephen A.
I know
Having
that.
Stephen A. try to be, try to power play her at times, but I feel like she held her own. She was a good host for what they want her to do. So hopefully whoever they replace her with, has the same
Honestly,
kind of vibe.
I think they should just keep it as is, like a barbershop style thing for right now until y'all find that.
Right, I feel like they'll do that for a little bit and then decide how they want to do it.
Now, I did see Stephen A. was talking to Shannon Sharp at the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
watch
I
out for that.
saw somebody float out Joy Taylor. I was like, okay, calm down.
Oh Lord,
Calm down.
I don't want her on TV. Ooh, you was finna get the unholified the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
I don't like she was planning to lie about something I don't play about.
But I felt like the article just put her name out there because they knew that people would read that and be like, "Come on." So I doubt she's even in the works. Like they'll get somebody in house. I don't know who. I mean, if they go like another woman, like Mina Kimes. I don't have a problem with Mina Kimes doing it.
what's I can forget her name that she fills in sometimes.
Yeah, they said she probably will end up getting it.
I like her.
The ball lady. I forget her name.
Oh, what is her name?
I forget her name, but she does good when she's.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. They have talent there who can do it.
Joy Taylor is a skank. I'm not sorry. You over here?
I should have changed the title of the episode to "Joy Taylor is a Skank." There you go.
Like, bro, Ajo.
Okay, see, Damien, we knew the joke was there. Somebody had to say it.
Ajo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's safe to say that
Mary,
sure
get out
Disney's not gonna go. Disney's not gonna go the way of Joy Taylor for that job. So I think we're good on that. But it will be interesting to see who they do pick for that spot. It'll be interesting to see where Molly pops up next. Maybe she goes back to her roots. Didn't she start off in UFC?
She was in UFC? I never knew that.
I think that's where she started, was UFC. I was like, maybe she goes back to her roots. Who knows? But as Sai just said, you streamed over an hour. We do that pretty regularly. So you loved it today? Make sure you're back here next week for some more. We're back next week, obviously. The NFL will continue on. We'll have more picks. We'll have more laughs. We'll have some unhinged J-Dub to throw in the mix. If you like that recipe, make sure you go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, Wire to Wire Network. Make sure you're back next week for another edition of Passion and Precision. For myself, Jory, Key, we're out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the games. If you need to vent, come back next week because we'll be venting too. All right. Bye.